Hello and welcome to SML The Sitdown. I am Primetime 000, joined by StevenMC. How you doing, sir?
Doing great, Prime. How are you, man?
Hey, I'm great. Glad to have you on SML The Sitdown, the show that kind of gets to know members who haven't showed their face much or that are kind of new, and I'm excited for this episode.
I'm excited to be here.
So, obvious question here. This is an underhanded pitch. Steven MC 49. What's the background on the PSN?
49ers fan, so that's where the 49 comes in. Steven MC, that's Stephen McCarthy is my name, so just kept it short and sweet.
Why are you a 49ers fan?
Been one since I was about 5 years old. My brother kind of talked me into it. Dad was Steelers, mom was Eagles. He was a Raiders fan at the time, who's become an Eagles fan as he grew up. But he convinced me the Niners were the best team in the league when I was about 5 years old, and I picked them then and stuck with them. So
Now, when you were a
here it
kid,
is.
what era were you watching the Steve
Steve
Young?
Young,
Yeah.
Steve Young, the end of Jerry Rice, T.O.,
You remember all
those days.
that?
No, I remember J.J.
Really?
Stokes, Ty Streets. I remember those teams.
Really? And then what do you think about like the was Mike Singletary their coach in like the 2000s?
Yeah, 2008, I think, 2008 to like 2010 before Harbaugh got there.
Yeah, those were
Those
dark
were rough.
times.
Yeah, actually, most of my childhood growing up watching them, they were actually trash. So we were picking top 10 usually every year.
You got Alex Smith. I remember that
Yep,
era. That was a good time.
yep.
So, obviously you're in a Madden league. What got you into Madden?
I've been playing it since I was a little kid. I think Madden 95 was the first one I ever played with my dad. And, I think I was like Madden 98 was the first time I beat him, and I felt like I could beat anybody at that point. So I just never looked back. I didn't learn about CFM leagues like this though until actually Colton put me on. What was it, 4 years, 3 years ago when I joined Primer? That was the first time I had only been doing online franchises like myself or with friends, whatever like that. And then he told me about the league, and I was like, "Oh, that's a really cool concept." He got me into Primer, and I fell in love with it. It's
That's
great to
awesome.
have actual competition with real people rather than playing computer and stuff.
So you were been in Primer for 3 years?
It was like two full cycles almost. You pulled me out right after the end of the second cycle when I took over for Larry,
Really?
but it
You've
was
been
like
in
the
that long?
very end. Yeah, yep. That was almost as long as Stavo. I think Trick and Stavo might have been the only two longer than me.
You're kidding me. I didn't know that. Interesting. So, when you think about playing Madden, obviously you played for quite a long time. I guess were you one of the? I played lobbies when I was a kid growing up. That was kind of the thing you would do. You play lobbies or go play now, and you play regular
Yep.
head versus head. You ever get into the MUT stuff or not as much? Where do you land on that?
No, I think the first year or two Mutt started, I tried it out when you could actually kind of like grind your way through it. And
Yeah,
then once it became pay to play, I no longer was interested. Like I'm already paying $60, 70, $80 for the game every year. I wasn't trying to put more money into Mutt. So I never really got into that side of it. It was more or less just playing with friends. I'd have like five or six of us in a franchise that I would run, very small, but it would be cool just to get a couple guys in there.
So I remember the MUT days. Me and my little brother. I used to obviously I was young enough to live with my parents, and we would play. And Walter Payton came in the game, and we were trying to get Walter Payton. And then right after it seemed like they got the legends in, they were like, okay, this is going to be a cash cow, and that's kind of when I dipped out
Yep.
and started the
Yeah.
SML. Not too long after that, actually. So Colton. What's he like in real life?
Colt the goofy dude. I like him. He's a good guy. He was technically my boss. He got hired in a position above me, but
Really?
I kind of trained him to do his job too at the same time because I had been in the company for a lot longer. So we kind of had a pretty good peer-to-peer relationship. We had a lot in common. He's a Jaguars fan, but he loves football. He's passionate about it. He loved Madden. We played a few times online. I saw, my skill level was at least equal to his, and he said he could compete in these leagues, so it made me feel like I could. But I will say though, I feel like I've come a long way since the first day I joined Primer to now. Like I've become a better player just playing against actual good competition.
Yeah, not playing Colts will help. The Colts not good competition. So, oh, my computer's asking me to do an update here. All right, we're back. So, when you think about obviously the SML, the competition in the SML, this was actually a fan question, so I'm going to read this off to you now that we're on that topic. This is, I'm not allowed to say who asked this, but I got a question for Steve. They said, after upsetting Stavo in the wild card round, Stavo would then go on to appear in 3 of 4 Super Bowls, almost winning all of them. Does Steve consider his win a fluke, or does he think he has the chops to be a playoff threat?
Uh, Personally, I think I can take anybody any day. I mean, I feel like obviously there are a lot of people who, I mean, there's not a lot. There's a few people who I haven't beat yet, but I've played just about everybody in SML at some point, some form or fashion, whether it be in Bombers College League, Primer, or here. And I feel like even the top tier guys, like I usually put up a good fight against them. Like I don't feel like anybody gets out with an easy win on me. So I feel like all I need is a ball to bounce my way here or there, and I can beat anybody. But that being said, I always go in, respect my opponents. I know these guys are good. I just lost to DW the other day, and it was actually, I think it might have been the first time he beat me, and it was a little bit humbling.
Yeah.
I love DW. He's a great guy, but usually I get that win on him, and for me, I was like, damn, all right, I got to dig a little deeper. So I just love the competitiveness of it and trying to be better, and I want to beat the guys who are considered the elites. Like that's how you make a name for yourself. So.
Yeah, and I got another question here. Ask Stevie who his favorite SML member is and why, other than Colton Knoll, because he knows them in real life.
Um, I think honestly, this might be a bad take for half the league, but I gotta go with Stavo. Like I know
Wow.
him and I have a little, we have a little bit of beef, but him and I were in primer for a while together. So like I kind of formed a friendship with him there. I love the competitiveness of him. I think he beat me like 7 times in a row in primer, and then coming to SML, I finally kind of have a leg up on him. I'm 3-1 against him this cycle, so I'm kind of out to prove I can hang with Stavo too. He's not just the only big guy in the NFC. But no, I love him. He's a great guy. He's competitive. He always gives you a fight, and he's just cool to chat it up with too.
Another, I think our last fan question here. Be sure to ask Steve what he likes to do for his birthday. What do you like to do for your birthday?
Uh, Typically ending it with a boot back to primer is not the ideal birthday, but no, typically I just like I was hanging out with family that day. I'd driven down to Florida to visit my mom. She still lives down there. I was down there for 4 years, so I took the family down there. Um, but just spend time with family, have a few drinks, have some laughs. That's a typical birthday for me. This
Let's
year wasn't typical, but but hey,
let's
we bounced back. We humbled ourselves a little bit, and we're back. We're trying to make a name for ourselves.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, I think that's the big thing is StevenMC got kicked on his birthday. Everybody talks about it. It's kind of the butt of the joke. Where were you when you got removed from the league on your birthday?
I was actually sitting in my mom's living room. I had played Bomber, I think, 3 hours prior. So, and I lost that game. It was a close game, and I lost that game. So that one kind of already stung a little bit. And then when I got the message from you, my immediate response was, I got to check the box score. Like, did I really mess up the ratio? And then I did, and I was like, man, I missed it by one. So I was a little pissed. I'm not gonna lie, like not at you. It's just
Yeah,
like I was kind of like mad at the whole situation. And I was like, I knew you didn't know it was my birthday, so I was aware of the situation. The irony of it, though, like it's too much not to laugh at.
yeah.
Even my wife and I, like as soon as it was like as soon as you told me, she's like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "I just got booted from SML." She's like, "On your birthday?" Like even she said it. So like it was a joke in the house as well as in the league. So I'm a gracious guy though. I can take it in stride. I don't let stuff get to me like that.
I was gonna say when it happened, you had such a humble response. You were very cordial, more cordial than most people would be at that point. I guess any bit of you want to just lay into me at all, or is that just not you?
No, I mean, I'm a laid back guy. I'm not, as you would say, confrontational. I take my frustrations out on the field, on the gridiron. I'm not in chat though. I'm not gonna beef it up with anybody. I try to get along with everybody. I didn't take it personally. I got where you were coming from. I don't think you explained it. You weren't coming down on me in a mean way. It didn't feel personal in that sense. So I just took it for what it was, and I used it to motivate myself to try and get back. So I'm not the type to give up. I'll persevere through a lot. So that
That's
was
good.
not the worst thing I've dealt with.
That's good. Well, hey man, I want to admit that I was wrong and I made a mistake, and I'm glad you stuck it out. And I appreciate you for having humility and working with me.
I'm glad you gave me another chance, man. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be a part of this league. It's something you built, and I love it. It's a great thing, great community, a lot of great guys, and a lot of fun. So thank you.
Appreciate that. Now, let's say you get back in the playoffs. You got Jonathan Taylor now. You're welcome, by the way. You get back in the play. You
Appreciate it.
get JT. What's your dream? Who would you want to mercy rule in the playoffs? Who you want to just put it on?
Being that I'm in the NFC, one guy I will say I want to beat, and I like this guy, but KP, he's one I've come close against a lot of times. I feel like every time we play, he beats me by 3 points. I mean, almost probably the last 5 times we've played, it's been like a one-score game, and I always feel like I'm right there with him, but he always somehow pulls it out at the end. So that's somebody I would definitely like to get one of him. Um, Stavo, I feel like I owe him another couple, honestly, from the
Mm-hmm.
primer days. So he'd be another one. And another guy just for good comp, I would like to play Straw. He actually was his last game in Primer was one of my first games in Primer, and I beat him. And then he got the call up. So for me at that moment, I was like, oh, I could do this if that guy just So
Yeah.
I didn't know how the whole thing worked at the time, but Straw's a really good guy too, and he's a really good competitor. And I like to play against people who are good. So.
Who's your least favorite member?
Honestly, I will say I don't hate anybody. And like I said, I'm pretty easygoing, but I just don't understand what Mike's beef is with me. So I mean, I guess I got to go with him just because he's the only one I know actively doesn't like me. So I don't know what it is. I tried to reach out to him. I tried to mend fences. It's been cordial in terms of scheduling, but I don't know why he hates me. I hope we can fix that one day. But that's about it. That's all I got for that.
Was there somebody else that you thought should have been kicked instead of you? T
Not
Steel.
anybody. He just got there, so I don't even think he was there long enough to get in trouble. But no, I think the only thing it was given what the circumstances were, being a ratio violation. I've seen a few other people get multiples, and it
Mm-hmm.
felt like that might have been a little, like there's some people who did that more than me. But at the same time, hey, I'm a new guy. I got to prove myself. I understand that side of it too. So nothing like that. Like
That's good. So obviously you've got your team. You're the Bucks. You've got JT. What's your predictions? I guess for this season. Do you think like are you going to beat Stavo? Are you going to be the guy in the NFC who makes a change, or are you not ready to make that guarantee?
try not to make any guarantees. Just take it one game at a time. I will say though, tonight I got a tough one against Matt, and right around the corner is Dan. So it's a good chance right now to prove myself these next two games. So I'm looking forward to both of those. Me and Matt have had a couple battles. Dan, I've only ever beaten him in college once, so I know it's going to be a tough game. Always playing both of them. So looking forward to both of those games. Looking down the rest of my season, I haven't played a division game yet, so those are always interesting. I still got 6 of them coming. So looking. Hopefully, I can at least split with those guys, and then pull out a couple of these tough wins, and I should be sitting pretty to go into the playoffs. I don't have Stavo on the regular season, so it won't be till playoffs if I
That'll
do.
be fun. That'll be fun. Hey, you're playing really well, guys. That is we're nearing 15 minutes. We try not to belabor shows on this show on the SML Network, I should say. Steven, the mic's yours. You got anything to say?
No, I mean, I just want to say thank you again for bringing me back, giving me another chance. I just want to say I'm happy to be here. I'm looking forward to trying to make some noise in this NFC. I want the NFC to be recognized, up there with them AFC big boys. So I want to try and do my part and step up and make a name for the NFC and make a name for the Buccaneers this season.
Guys, that is StevenMC, the Buccaneers owner of the SML. He is back with vengeance. That'd be a heck of a storyline. Prime versus StevenMC in the Super Bowl. I'd be all for it. Guys, that's StevenMC. I'm Prime. We're signing off on SML The Sitdown. Thanks for watching.